Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are very sorry for the delay. We had a small technical glitch, but now we are good to go. And today we are having a conversation about how to run a campaign during COVID-19. And we know a lot of young people who are interested in running their campaigns during this process across the continent. And today we have an amazing guest, Mr. Tomislav Damnjanovic, who is getting to us live from Serbia. He has done a number of elections. He has had over 15 years experience running elections in Europe, parts of Africa and North America. He has also done lots of consultancies working with political parties, but also helping people strategize on how to run elections. Tomislav is a pollster, a strategist and a consultant in elections for different political parties and candidates around the world. So we are honored today to be having Mr. Tomislav on board. And for those who are watching us from wherever you are, I would like to tell you that Tomislav has over 15 years experience in running campaigns across several platforms. He has used technology, he has worked with individuals, with political parties, and several institutions. Welcome on the show, Mr. Tomislav Damnjanovic.
Hi, my friend. Hi to all who are watching us live and to others who will watch us as recorded.
Thank you very much for sparing the time to join us. Today we are having a conversation about how to run campaigns during COVID-19. And I just want to put our conversation in perspective by saying since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, there has been unprecedented pressure on states and governments on whether to hold elections or to postpone them. There's a constitutional mandate for politicians to renew the social contract with voters. Campaigns are about gathering people. It's about rallies, and the numbers matter. People need to see crowds to be able to support you. As of today, over 50 countries, territories, and states have decided to either defer or postpone the elections in the face of the prospect of spreading the virus. Now, interestingly, Ethiopia, a few days ago, extended the term of the Prime Minister by 1 year because they are not sure when COVID-19 spread is going to reduce. So they all agreed to extend his stay by 1 more year so that they watch where the COVID-19 goes. And just to give you a little bit of the perspective in Africa, for example, phone penetration, just the handset phone penetration in Africa is over 70%. But internet penetration, people holding smartphones, is a little bit smaller because they are mostly in urban areas. And then urban areas have less than 40% of the African population. So, Tomislav, how can we run a campaign? How are we able to reach people in circumstances where internet penetration is not so big? Very few people have smartphones. You can't do gatherings. It's just going to be difficult, especially for the young people who are trying to run campaigns. Where do we start from, Mr. Tomislav?
I will start first thing first, how to wash your hands. So if just a few months ago I was in Uganda, it was on 15, I leave on 16th of March, and it was just 2 days after I go back home, they quit Turkish Airlines, quit airplanes to every country. So I was on one of last planes from Uganda to Istanbul. And in that moment, if I told you that the most important thing to survive, to save our lives, will be this mask, I will not work with this, these gloves, and to learn how to wash our hands. This is very important. This move is very important. So I believe that it is very important to know what to do. We in Serbia, we will have on 21st of June elections. And it is first, I think, European or even out of Europe elections after coronavirus pandemic. So we have some experience. We do not have rallies. We do not have gathering, but internet penetration is much better in my country than than in all other countries. So it is internet penetration is something like 65-70%. And the most important thing in younger generation, internet penetration is almost 100%. So, but what you can do if you have now delayed 1 year elections, there is some 7 things you can do during this 1 year. So waiting for rallies, waiting for other things we can do. You can hammer out your campaign strategy, establish yourself as engaged community leader, look for earned media opportunity, and look for non-traditional media, build and maintain your campaign organization, fundraise, direct voter contact using phone banks, and get the most out of your offline social media presence. So basically what we can do if we are talking about how to hammer your campaign strategy, the most important thing is, okay, if we know that elections are postponed for 1 year, then just do calendars. We talk on our seminars about calendars, and calendars are really very important in your campaign. So go and make your calendar. What you will do during this 1 year in Corona time. It is very hard. It is really very hard to say when coronavirus will stop. Maybe we will never face again time what we know until vaccine is made. So then in this case, you need to make your calendar and then establish yourself as engaged community leader. I saw what you do, Emmy, with your team on delivering goods when it was locked down in Uganda. And this is something we need to do in every country. So it is one of most important things to engage yourself, to help people, to show them that you don't think on them just on election day or during election campaign. Now is time to go out and help them. How you can help them? So make something like a call center, or make public one mobile phone or some phone or whatever, and people can call you and ask for help. So this is from your what things I saw on your page. It is something you need to do, and every politician need to do, and to help their community during coronavirus. So who can you talk with? You can talk with small business owners, non-profit organization, key stakeholders in community, and to organize people. You need to organize people. In this moment, most important thing is not to think about political campaign, but to think about how to help the people. And I'm sorry, I don't know, is in Uganda still locked down? Can you drive cars, and can you drive
Yes,
buses?
right now you can drive cars, and then some public vehicles can move. So in Tanzania, for example, we have an election in October. They had no lockdown. We have an election in February or March next year in Uganda. And you know, part of the challenge is if you can't organize people, if you can't afford paid media, then it's going to become more difficult.
Yeah, that's sure. But if you engage yourself as community leader, then people will know you. Then during election time, during campaign time, you need to work really less on them. But look, this is one of most important things. To engage yourself in this time, and to engage with people in your voting place, on your place when your voters are. So this is, I really think that this is really most important thing. And if we are talking about campaigns, so make some campaign plan, go visit people, help them, try to find money, try to find some fundraisers, try to find who can produce these masks or these gloves and deliver to people. As I know, in Uganda, let's say the government said that there will be one mask per person. And this is 2 hours mask. And it costs in Serbia $1, you know, so it is very expensive in this moment. It is very expensive. So try to produce it. You can see that it is not very complicated to produce some masks. So be engaged with your community. Fight against coronavirus. And then if you are doing this, this is really first and most important thing, to engage yourself as with community. Second is look for earned media opportunities and explore non-traditional media. So look, if anyone say you that they know how to work campaign during coronavirus, I will use the word, they are liars. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows what to do. So we have in this moment campaign, we are here in Serbia, traditionally we have big rallies during a campaign time, and there is no one rally. We try to find something like Zoom for 1,000 people, put it on TV. It looks very bad. So this is time. Yeah, it's really. I will send you later a presentation, and you can send to all people my presentation. But the most important problem is nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows what to do, and there is no good advice. The most important advice is help your community. When you are looking for earned media, then go and make some kind of, I don't know, if you do help, if you do public transportation, if you, whatever you do, then just try to be on earned media, not as a politician, but as engaged community leader, as young person who is engaged and fight against coronavirus. The most important thing during coronavirus crisis, what I realized, and we realized in my company, is don't be negative. Why? Because there is so much people, and people in our countries, in all countries during coronavirus, they are afraid. They have a lot of fear. What will happen with us? What will be in our future? What will be with our economy? And if you go and attacking every day government or anybody else, it will not be, people will stop listening to you. So my idea is in this campaign, let's try to help people, and let's try to be as it's much possible positive. So this is the way how you will find some opportunities in earned media or non-traditional media.
With this kind of situation, what does it mean for newcomers? I think the incumbents, some people know them. What about the first-time candidates? What does this mean for them? Because they don't have facial recognition, they don't have name recognition. How are they going to go through this?
It's very hard. I must say, it's very hard for them. But because they are newcomers, because they are younger, I believe they have much more energy than anybody else. So use this energy. Use this energy and just go for it. Just go visit people and try to spend so much time with your people in your constituency, in your election part of country. So go there, be with people, spend the time, try to help them. And in meantime, because your elections are postponed, especially in Uganda and in some other countries where PIPA works, the most maybe this is time to build and maintain your campaign organization. Use this time to make election headquarters, to make a campaign manager, to start to work. You remember, I always said, is it too early for campaign? I always said it is too late. It's always, for me, it's always too late for campaign. So basically, I believe that one of most important thing is in this moment is to make your campaign organization and to go to meet the people. But let me say, in all other countries, we just go back to 1936 campaign in USA, even in USA.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? We are now heavily using mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
We are now heavily using, not if they don't have smartphones, but we can use SMS.
Okay.
Because even worst telephone have SMS. So go back and use SMS as kind of messaging. And this SMS can be something you can start from your phone bank, start from all people you know, so start from your contact list. So in my contact list there is something like more than 3,000 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So choose the people from contact list and send them SMS. It is cheap. It is much cheaper than sometimes than internet, and said, hi, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more. Do you need any help? So it will be much better for people. So it is most cost effective and change voters' behavior is to have in-person conversation. So maybe to call them if they answer you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I need a help. Call them and say, okay, what kind of help you need? And this is how you can use short text message. Of course, online media for people who are living in urban region. We know that in Kampala and Entebbe region is 60% of people who are using internet. They are living in Kampala and Entebbe region. In whole Uganda, it is almost same. In Kenya, that's Nairobi, that's Mombasa, and few other areas. Or in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam is 60 or 70% of internet users. But another way, the most important thing is your message. So in this moment, this is help. And in next moment, you need to talk, you remember this, economy, infrastructure, social question.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment, one of most important thing you need to talk about is economy. Now is more than ever is economy. What will happen in the future? What will be with us? We will have BDP numbers are going in 2 digits down. So it is minus 10, minus 12, minus 15% in Serbia. It will be even worse in Africa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have better results because you are not testing too much. We are testing in Serbia, we are heavily testing, and it is PCR tests which are extremely expensive. So every test costs between 30 and 50 euros. So we are extremely testing. Why? That's the reason why we have so good results in fighting against coronavirus. But in this moment, the most important thing is to help people and to start to talk about economy, and then to start to talk about social question. And this is the reason why we need to talk about infrastructure, about our hospitals, about our schools, about our university, because in this moment we are all in lockdown. Nobody knows when it will stop. So in Serbia, on our main airport, we have something like 5 million passengers on a year. It is not too much, but it is big number. And now 3 months, 0 passengers on airplane. So that means that you need to start to talk about the future, but about the future, what will happen with us, with our economy. It is most important thing for me. I believe that economy is in this moment, you need to talk 80%. And on second place, these social questions, that mean help to people. Call the people, ask them how to help them. And this is your job in this moment. This is your job as politician in your moment. Don't think about this question. There is not too much people on social media. You know that I don't believe in social media in regular time. But in this time, there is no other way we can communicate.
Yes.
There is no other way.
But Tomislav, so we've seen governments making different kinds of actions. Some of them have done lockdowns, partial lockdowns. Some of them haven't. It seems like this process is also working for some governments. Some governments, their ratings are going up. Some ratings are going down. So what does it mean for anyone who wants to win an election if there's a government whose ratings are very good with this kind of situation, depending on their interventions?
We can say that in all countries in Europe, ratings for governments going up. It is not a real situation with Sweden because they do not have lockdown, and the numbers of government, as I see it, first they go up and now they are going down. In my country, approval rating for president was amazing 83%. Approval ratings mean when you ask people how they do job during coronavirus, 83% of people who are living in Serbia said great. They gave him a scale from 1 to 5, they gave him 5, the best mark. So we see it in Austria, which also have heavily locked down. The numbers of OVP and Prime Minister Kurz are going high. Even in Italy, the numbers for Prime Minister and government going up. So in this moment, I believe if it is very hard, we have elections in Serbia on 21st of June, then we will have elections in Croatia on 5th of July. So the governments here in Europe, if they can make elections, then they make it short after quitting with lockdown. What is the reason? The reason is economy.
Yes.
And because the governments expect if time goes more and more after coronavirus, economy we will see the numbers, the bad numbers in economy. So they want to move elections very short after coronavirus.
Because their ratings are too high right now.
Yeah. The ratings are high, and it is good for campaign. You can use doctors. You can use. We fight against coronavirus. We won, but we will have some countries with postponed elections, and I believe that it is not good situation for government.
To postpone elections.
Yeah. I'm not sure that it is good that if you postpone a long time elections after pandemic, because economy will be in that moment. You remember you have just two kind of campaigns. One is emotional and one is economic campaign. In this moment with coronavirus, you have emotional campaign. We fight, we won. Look, we buy this. Respirators or whatever the name is, and we have a lot of tests and everything else, and nobody will ask you about economy. But as times goes by after coronavirus, I think that economy will be more and more questions about that, and it is a huge question for governments how they will survive.
Okay. But and then Tomislav, so where do we put campaign materials, billboards, posters? Doesn't it mean we need to put more resources in making sure we have billboards and posters? Because especially if you're a first-time voter, a first-time candidate, no one knows your face. No one has seen what you've done.
Yeah. Look, as I told you, I don't believe in posters, and I don't believe in billboards, and I don't believe in social media. But at this moment, I believe because we don't have anything else. Yeah. So we cannot go out knocking on door. Nobody will open. Can you imagine who will open you if you stay on door like this, and say, hello, hi. No, not on my door. So in this moment, probably the most important thing can be this. This is why I told you 1936. If you have enough money, put your poster on car and go around the village. Put your face. If it is possible according to the law. I know in West countries it is not possible, but in my country, and I believe in Africa, it is possible. Put loudspeaker up there and say, Tomislav Damnjanovic, candidate for MP, and go around. make a music, So you need to go in 1936. If you have enough money, then this small bus which is driving through all Africa, these small buses, what is
the Matatus.
Yeah, put your poster there, or make your poster and pay the driver one drive a day. It is free for everyone who is in bus. So you need to open your mind and to go out of traditional way of thinking. So put on Makato, what you say? What is the
Matatu?
Yeah, okay, I will
On the
try.
bus.
Yeah, on the bus. So put the posters on the bus, whole bus, and say to driver, give him, I don't know, $20, $25. I don't know how much he made on one drive, and say, okay, go there and go back, and everyone is free. And say to people, put them a leaflet. It is paid by our candidate. I don't believe in billboards. It is just in Europe, it is just 2% of people who see your political message on billboard. Just 2%. But in this moment, your face can be very interesting on billboard. So put it on billboard. Use leaflets. I told you the cheapest way how you can do campaign is to make business card.
Yes.
And business card with your picture, with your name, with your telephone, with place where you are running, then deliver this business card to everyone. Go to bus stations, go to tram stations, to train stations in Kenya. Go on street and give people your business card. Go to villages. And you need to go, I told you, now it's not time for sophisticated campaign. Now we have campaign from 1936 when we don't have TV, when radio was everything. So go on radio. In Africa, radio before coronavirus was so important. So go to radio. So it is something you can do. But if you don't have money for billboards, then invest in business cards. Invest that money and deliver to people, but with your phone number. And on one side will be your picture, your name, your phone number. On the other side will be 3 or 5 your promises. And it is very, very cheap. And you can go on street. And this with bus, I improvise it in this moment, but it can be very interesting.
But Tomislav, so given the fear about the spread of COVID-19, how do you organize your team? Because if you need to have a big team, if you need to meet, you need to strategize. How are you going to organize your team around this time when we have COVID-19?
It was very hard. It was very hard. Look, it is so hard that I don't cut my hair. You know that I never had so long hair during, let's say, when I was kid, and I don't go to cut my hair. And I said I will have long hair until COVID-19 is quit. But it seems that it will be a long time. So basically, we do during lockdown here in Serbia, and we had very heavy lockdown. So every day from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. we cannot go anywhere. So there was one number, and you send a message, I need to go to doctor if something's happened. And then you got a message, and you show this message to police officer and everything else. So we organize it. There is so much things, like we organize our meetings on Zoom. I've been on Zoom daily with a lot of my candidates and a lot of people I work with. So even my company, it was very hard because one part of them came from Bosnia, one part of them came from Montenegro, one part of them came from Croatia. I came from Uganda and Turkey. So we all was in permanent lockdown 28 days. No out. No out, even to shop, even to no way. So we do it. There is some other things like Google Meeting, like there is a lot of softwares you can do, Skype, even Viber. So we can do it with that group meetings. It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is hard, especially for strategic planning. So I postpone some strategic planning or organizational meeting. I just wait when borders are open in my region to travel to do strategic planning, because you need to see them personally. But everything else you can do online.
And Tomislav, I'm just thinking about, so we've always talked about the face-to-face meeting between the candidate and the voters is very, very important. And we've always talked about put a smile with people, but you're putting on a mask. People can't even see the smile. So how are we going to deal with all these dynamics of making sure you're conforming to the COVID guidelines, but also you're able to show your emotion. And you know, we always encourage pictures of carrying babies, pictures of helping the elderly people, but now you can't do that because of touching and transferring COVID-19.
It is basically, it's very hard. So we have on 21st June, we have elections, and the obligation is almost obligation to wear in closed spaces, to wear a mask. So how they can see that it's me? You know, I'm not on ID, so nobody can say, yeah, it's you. So basically, but you can put your face on billboard, on poster, and everything else, and people will recognize. But basically, you need to smile. Yeah, you need, even on that, you need to smile and to say something like, "The future is ours. The future will be bright." To use bright colors, and no, in this moment it is more than ever important that you are smiling from your material, because really people are, if you talk with people, the most important feeling in this moment in the whole world is fear. Fear from COVID. But as COVID going back and we are going out from COVID pandemic, the fear about the future. What will be with us in future? What will be with our job? What will be with my credit, with my a credit for car, or credit for apartment, or credit for education, or it's very hard. How, when I can see my family. So this is the reason why you need to be more positive than negative. And especially in this moment, the sum of problems can be if you are attacking government. Governments have huge rating. And I told you, it is like in movie 4th of July, Independence Day, you have this spaceship with protection around them. And in this moment, people are, okay, they said the government don't do everything, but there is nobody else except government. So if you don't do something, if you don't deliver to people masks, if you don't deliver to them gloves, if you don't help them how to move from one point to another, then it's huge problem.
So every candidate must participate in giving services. You must be part of the conversation in helping people get masks, helping people get information, and making sure that people get the help they need. But what about this entire idea, Tomislav, that every time there's a crisis like this, it works for the ruling party. Every time there's a crisis like this, it is always an advantage for the party in power.
It's always depend. Look, it's always depend on how party government react on crisis. Sometimes government don't react very good, and in this moment, you know, like in Great Britain, and I believe that it will be same even in Sweden, that people will say the government don't react because they don't have lockdown, and now as times going by, we see that Sweden have huge numbers with that, with affected people and everything else. And on other scale, we have New Zealand with really hard lockdown. So I believe that, yeah, it works for government, but in first time. Later, as times goes by, it is better for opposition. But opposition, the main problem is that I believe that a lot of opposition parties involved will now talk in 1 year, will talk about COVID virus and what's happening. And I believe that this emotion will be still strong in people. Emotion about how government react, but economy. Basically, there is no one government who solve economy problem. And this big going down with numbers in economy. So we see that whole Europe will have minus growth of BDP in next few months. And we do not, and the main problem is what we will do if there is a second wave. As we are talking now in Europe with second wave. We cannot survive that in Europe second wave, in economic terms, especially in countries which, so basically my whole idea is to talk about economy, as Stan Greenberg told to Bill Clinton, it's all about economy, you stupid. And this is moment when opposition party must talk about economy.
So Tomislav, where do we put? What do you think about the entire idea of voice notes, doing videos and sharing them, passing out your messages through these kinds of processes? Because we know the SMS is going to be good, but also I think it's going to be a lot of work, because then you have to target the message to every group of people you're sending it to. That means you have to develop a lot of messages. Where do we put videos and voice notes and all these kinds of other innovations that we can use for campaigns?
Everything, whatever. So basically, there is a lot of instruments now. We are going back. There is one software, we call it Town Hall, Teletown Hall. So it was used by Sarkozy in USA. They used it for years, and Sarkozy used it in France in 2008. And just go to Google and Google it, Teletown Hall, So it is a multi-telephone conversation between people. So there on one side is president or candidate, on the other side can be, with Sarkozy in some situation, 100,000 people on the other side was. So, deliver MMS can be also great if you have internet, and even you don't need a smartphone for MMS. So voice record or even video record. But we are talking about Africa. We are talking about less internet penetration. So in this moment, most important for your campaign can be Facebook, can be something WhatsApp, and I know that you are heavily using WhatsApp. So make your group on WhatsApp and call people and make conversation with them through WhatsApp. I know that there is huge groups, WhatsApp groups in Africa, really huge. I meet some politicians who had something like 100,000 people on WhatsApp group. So, but still, it is internet. So basically, there is two things I suggest. This old one, delivering business cards, posters, leaflets, if you have money, billboards. And another way is this idea of having this modern campaign on internet campaign. But again, use every opportunity not to shake hand because it is forbidden, but you go and talk with people. Go and talk, and especially ask them what they need.
So what about so for young politicians who are running, what kind of pictures should they be sharing on social media, so that the people who are following them know what's going on? What kind of activities do you advise them to start posting during this situation?
In this moment, with people, not alone.
Mm.
With people delivering some help, or just keeping social distance, but with people. If you are alone, on picture, it is always bad when you are alone. But in this moment, the most important thing is to show that you are helping the people, and that you are not just another politician who want to make ratings on this crisis. Yeah, of course, we all want to make ratings on this crisis, but show to people. Make a picture with your family. I had a candidate who put a picture taking a haircut after 75 days. And we put a video with him how he's making haircut. So all these kind of picture, when you show that you are that you understand the crisis, that you understand what people are going through, but try to be optimistic. Try to be and say, yeah, we will solve this crisis. We will help you with economy problems. We know that you have economy problems, because almost every family in this moment have economy problems. A lot of families, I believe. And just to say, okay, we will help you. We will do this, this, and this. Voting for us, we will stop corruption, and we will have more money for help people. So connect, because the economy is most important thing, but also we have a lot of talks about corruption in Europe in pandemic time, and because there was some firms who can import masks from China, or gloves, or these respirators, or whatever, and we have huge crisis here about that, especially in region, not in Serbia. Luckily, we don't have this kind of crisis, but in region we have a lot of crisis with that. So basically, start to talk about that. Start what kind of economic help you will offer to people. How with credits, with loans, with I don't know, with money to people. Because here in Europe, a lot of countries gave money to the people as a kind of help. In Serbia, every citizen who have more than 18 years got 100 euros. So that's mean $120 from country. Because we believe that it will help economy, and that people will spend this money in our economy. So we postpone taxes on small, medium-sized businesses for 3 months. So in last 3 months, I don't need to pay tax to state.
Okay.
Or credits, we postpone 3 months credits. So you don't pay anything, interest rates, anything in 3 months during COVID virus. So this is the things you need to talk with. How kids are going to school, how they will make this time they lose in school, because okay, we have online schools here in Serbia, but in some villages people just cannot go online because there is no internet.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of things you can talk about during COVID, especially after.
As we begin to wrap down, we are talking about social distancing, and sometimes candidates don't lose the elections. Sometimes the elections are stolen from them. That means you need to watch the election. Now we have social distancing. You have to stand a distance. What does this mean for candidates and their poll watchers trying to protect their vote, to make sure there's no stuffing, to make sure that nothing happens at the polling station that makes them lose an election they would otherwise win?
There is, we just have huge talks in Bosnia about that, and the elections will be in mid of November. So there is, let's say, few ways. There is more technical way, so to put camera on every polling station. And after elections, polling stations are closed, the camera is on, and we can see how they counting the votes. So this is one idea. Second idea is I always said that sometimes lose elections not because of campaign, but because of people. We cannot protect our votes on polling stations. And in this case, the most important part is to have these poll watchers on opening and closing election place. So you need to donate them a mask. You need to be sure that and it is some question you can ask government now. You can make one part of your campaign. Okay, we will have elections. How we will protect ourselves on polling stations, because we have this our central election committee just make announcing how it will look on polling station. Nobody, it cannot be not more than 5 people inside, plus watchers. Using of mask for people who are working on polling station must be whole day, using gloves, using the sanitizers everywhere. So it is, but you need to talk about that. You need, especially I believe that one of most important problems for younger and for opposition party will not be just campaign. And not just campaigning about economy. It will be go out and vote campaign, because it is huge fear of people. And they say, look, 1 year I stay alive and I stay healthy out of coronavirus. I don't want to go to vote now and to be infected. So you need to do few kinds of campaigns. One is talking about be smile, of course, talking about economy, talking about social question like helping to people after coronavirus. But one must be also go out and vote campaign. Yeah, because government parties, you remember this, election campaign is like sex, emotion and technique.
Yes.
So emotion is a message, technique is organization.
Yes.
So, okay, in this moment, maybe during coronavirus, you can find good message. You can find good emotion. But if you do not have organization, in this moment, the most important problem with our campaign here in Serbia is with government and opposition, is to make go out and vote campaign. Go out and vote. And to say to people, you will be secure of voting places. If we told them, don't go in closed spaces, don't go to shopping malls, don't go here, don't go there, don't go to buses, and then we told them go to elections, it's a little bit hysteric, you know. So in this moment we need parties, especially opposition parties, because ruling government parties always have a way how to make their people go out to vote. Yes. They have some lists, they know who works and how they got the job and everything else. And they will say, okay, we are here, come on, send us a message or send us a picture. The main problem is opposition parties. So I believe that in this moment, for opposition parties, there is few huge challenges. And one of these huge challenges is go out and vote campaign. And they need to do go out and vote campaign. And they need to do it and to say, okay, people, it is safe. It is safe for you. Okay, I need to take a picture. It is safe for you.
Okay. But you see, what does that mean for some opposition parties that have been saying government is not doing enough? Government is not providing protective equipment for nurses and doctors. Can they still give that message, especially in part of African countries? Can they still be able to say it is safe to go and vote, even when they have been saying government is not doing enough?
Yeah, it's really It's a really huge topic, and it can be used during campaign.
Mhm.
And you can always say, I don't like to go in and say, look, members of government party got a protective mask and we in opposition don't. I think it's stupid. But you can always say that in coronavirus, it is the most important thing is to stay safe, and to stay safe for all of our people, not just for government parties, not the members of government parties, but also for all our people. So because we believe that there is not too much members of government parties and that everybody else is out of government parties, so you need to make some kind of a campaign in which you will say that government don't do too much things on protecting the people. Why? Because we spend so much money on other things which are not necessary in this moment.
Okay.
But
Okay.
don't believe me that everything is count. And on the end of the day, if you are heavily attacked government, I think that you will make more problems than if you don't attack them at all. So
Okay.
for some candidate, for some opposition candidate, during coronavirus from, let's me say, we have a lockdown from 18 March until 8th of May, we have a huge lockdown. I said to a lot of my opposition candidates in region, don't do anything. Just pretend that you are dead. Because if you do anything else, you will make a lot of mistakes. So if you do not have any kind of other idea, if you cannot organize yourself as a opposition party to help people, to organize your youth network and to go to shops, to go to a pharmacy, to go here and there for them, then don't do anything. Then just go and pretend that you are dead.
Thank you. Final message to our young people who are going to run. What is your final message during COVID-19 and their campaigns?
I will, especially in Africa, I will divide this campaign in candidates who will run in urban areas and candidates who will run in mostly rural areas. So for candidates who will run in urban areas, go online, heavily go online, be there 3 to 5 posts during the day, present yourself as someone who is engaged in their community, who help people, and still, again, if it is not forbidden, go on street, shake your hands, make business card. I will run on next elections. This is me. This is my phone number. You remember this whole idea I take from Jordan in 2010. I will not change my mobile number. This is now. This can be your promise. This can be your huge promise. I will not change my mobile number. For people who are living and running in rural areas, it is much harder. But again, you need to show that you can be engaged community leader. You can even promise them something like every month I will 10% of my salaries will go to you. I will help you on this way. So something different. You need for rural areas, it is much harder. But go there, visit them. Okay, keep social distance, keep these 2 meters. But keeping social distance, it's mean body distance. I hate this word, social distancing. Social distancing is something different for me. It is not talking. I'm keeping social distance in airplane before Corona. I don't talk with people around me for 8 hours of flight. This is social distancing. But in this moment, we need body distancing. We need these 2 meters.
Yeah.
It don't mean that we cannot talk with people, that we cannot travel. So use sanitizers, learn how to wash your hands, use gloves, use your mask, go there and talk with people. Sometimes in this crisis time, the most important part is to talk with people.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tomislav Damnjanovic from Serbia, for sparing the time to be with us. And lots of good lessons that participants have learned. I mean, those who are viewing us have got from this conversation. It is important to use traditional media, find any kinds of spaces, especially radios, where you can pass on your message. Focus on the economy and make sure that your message is positive, because that is what people are looking for. And one of the most important things that opposition parties will have to do is to get out the vote, because people right now are scared. You need to convince them to be able to come and vote. This conversation today has been powered by the Christian Democratic International Center, which is a party foundation based in Stockholm, running programs in Europe, Latin America, and East Africa. Thank you all very much for joining the conversation, and I wish you all a splendid day and evening. Have a good day, and bye-bye.